This is part 11 of What If Naruto Was Trained by 4 kunoichi. I hope you guys enjoy. Trinity exams, Forest of Death. Welcome everyone, Anko shouted to the Forest of Death. It doesn't seem all that scary, Kiba shouted. As fast as lightning, a kunai slate cut past his face. The blade just slightly cut into his flesh, drawing a drop of blood. Anko was right behind him with a kunai at his neck. Not the hothead one. It's hotheads like you that end up splattered on the ground, Anko spoke. Usually she would lick the wound, the blood up, but she decided against it. Don't want Naruto killing the Genin out of jealousy yet. She felt a presence behind her. It was giving off supple killing intent. Hello, I believe this is yours, eh? It was Gara. It was Gara holding Anko's kunai with... No, my bad. It was a grass ninja holding Anko's kunai elegantly with a tongue. Thanks, but you shouldn't be behind me, Anko stated with a hard smile. My boyfriend could get the wrong idea with the killing intent you're giving off. Everyone saw the blonde behind the grass nin. Gone was the mischievous smile. It was replaced with a hard mask. If his eyes were visible, many were sure that they would be ice cold. Take her warning, Naruto ordered. The grassman gave a predatory smile before backing away. That was unnecessary, Naruto-chan, spoke Anko. I can take care of myself. Naruto didn't speak. He never took his blindfold off. He never took his blindfolded eyes off of the grassman. Anko knew to be on guard. Hey, I'm still here, Kiba spoke. Good, Anko spoke. You can hand these out. She handed him a stack of paper. These are permission slips so that if you die, we don't get blamed. What are we doing with this time? Someone asked. The task is simple. Each team will be given a scroll. She held one that read heaven and one that held earth. Your job is to retrieve the opposite scroll from the other team by any means necessary. She let that one hang in the air. You have 5 days to do so. You have 5 days to do so and make it to the tower in the center. What about food? Choji asked. There are plenty of wildlife in the forest. Just don't let them eat you first. If that becomes too difficult, you could eat one of your teammates, Naruto offered. The one that is the least useful will be helpful by being dinner. What scared Genin was that Choji seemed to actually be thinking. His eyes were shifting back and forth between Shikamaru. He began drooling at the prospect of a new flavor. Can we begin? Ino asked. Choji is scaring me. The teammates were given each a scroll. They were each assigned toward to a gate. Word of advice, Uncle spoke. Just don't die. The test began. Team 7 were moving through the forest at an even pace before coming to a stop. Once they covered enough distance, they began to stop. Okay, we need a plan, Naruto stated. I think we... Who put you in charge, Ibaka? Sakura asked. Fine. Naruto sighed. Do either of you have a plan? They both said nothing. Thought so. Naruto spoke. We should. He never got to finish his plans. He felt a large spike in chakra. There was only enough time to turn his head before he was hit. He was blasted away by powerful wind jutsu. It carried him a great distance away. Huh? What hit me? Naruto asked. Hiss. Naruto turned around to the sound. Naruto turned to the sound. He was greeted by the largest snake he had ever seen. It stared him down with a predatory look. Are you one of Uncle's summons? Naruto asked. The snake simply shook his head. Are you going to eat me? The snake didn't answer. It simply opened its mouth and swallowed Naruto whole. As the snake laid the ditch, the blonde felt a strange. Soon, pain erupted from its stomach as Naruto carved away at its innards. They had no choice but to spit Naruto out. The two looked at each other. Naruto shivered. He had just been eaten. He gathered himself as the snake made a second attempt. Naruto jumped to the side, released his head while taking a stance. He had never fought anything this big, but he has fought countless snakes. After all, he wasn't going to be anyone's supper. Jumping into the air, he brought his sword, still in sheath, down the snake's skull. The snake fell unconscious under the blow. Be glad one of my hands is a snake summoner, Naruto stated. Otherwise, I would have killed you. Now that the snake was unconscious, he could find his team. Relaxing, he spread his sensor meter a good distance before he found them. They were in the middle of a battle with a powerful opponent and losing. I need to get to them, and fast. Without thinking, he jumped onto the unconscious snake. Giddy up, snake. The snake laid there. Giddy up, come on, snake, giddy up. The snake continued to lie there. Naruto went behind the snake, snake pulled his sword back. When I say giddy up, I mean giddy up. He swung his sword. He swung his sword like a bat at the snake. The impact to the snake was great. It was enough to wake the snake up, and it sent it into a panic. This caused the snake to start slithering away at incredible speeds. Without Naruto. Whoa, snake. Whoa. He ran after the serpent. Sasuke was at his limit. The grass ninja was just toying with him. Even with his Sharingan, he could barely keep up. Sakura was just switching between cheering Sasuke and screaming in terror. Whoa, snake, whoa, he heard a familiar voice speak. Drew everyone's attention. Come on, whoa! It was a ridiculous sight. When I say whoa, I mean whoa. There was a loud impact sound. The snake couldn't take much more of this. Naruto stepped onto the area. He was greeted with stares of disbelief. What? He asked innocently. Dope, Sasuke called. Get out of here, he shouted. This opponent is way out of your league. You can take the freak, Sasuke-kun, Sakura cheered. Thought she went complete. This is what you want, right? Sasuke held out their scroll. Just take it and leave us. Sasuke, you fool, Naruto shouted. If the enemy is as strong as you say, what's them from stopping you? What's them stopping from killing you anyway? He eyed the grassland. Isn't that right, Orochimaru? You are clever, Naruto-kun. The enemy complimented him. What gave me away? There's only 2 snake summoners, Naruto answered, and I am currently dating the other. You're really dating Anko? Orochimaru asked. And they call me the cradle robber. I became legal when I put this headband on, Naruto stated. Now what are you doing here? Oh, I'm just here for Sasuke-kun, Orochimaru answered. Now let's begin, shall we? Let's. I can make you pay back. I can make you pay for hurting my hand. Naruto drew his sword and took a stance. He dropped his weights and removed his blindfold. As he prepared for battle, even if he was using his Shin no Jutsu Stage 3, there was no guarantee he could win. He didn't have enough fear saved up. He had a little control over the technique and just ran against whoever was in his way. The only reason he regained control was because Uncle and his aunts. He only beat Zabuza with it because the former Miss Ninja was already tired. Orochimaru was one of the Sanin for a reason and looked full of energy. So you want a sword, huh? Want a sword match, huh? Orochimaru must. The snake Sanin began to regurgitate something, a sword. Naruto had a chance. Orochimaru wasn't a Sanin for his sword skills. However, Naruto needed to be careful. Orochimaru had superior speed, strength, and much more experience. Naruto decided to be the first to move. He jumped towards the free branch next to Orochimaru. Looking at the snake Sanin in his eyes, he used Shin no Epota Stage 1. The technique caught Orochimaru off guard, long enough for Naruto to use another genjutsu, demonic illusion, double false surroundings. He hoped Orochimaru didn't start using his genjutsu. While he had the opportunity, he dashed towards the Sonic, raising his sword. He made to decapitate the rogue. His blade was blocked by the one Orochimaru was holding. He was so he broke free. He didn't think it would hold him that well anyway. Now Now they were in a power struggle. Unfortunately for Naruto, Orochimaru was winning. Then it caught his attention. That sword, Naruto whispered. He jumped back onto another tree. It was the sword of Kazin, the blade that was said to be indestructible and capable of cutting through anything with enough force. It also came with a bunch of other tricks. So you know of this blade, Orochimaru asked, amused. Do you still want to try yours against it? Like I have a choice, he thought. The Sani jumped towards Naruto, blade extended. While the Sanin was mid-air, he made his move. Now invert. With Orochimaru's vision and balance distorted, he attempted one arm dislodgical slash. Orochimaru tried to block, but you know how that goes. The blade made contact and Naruto was inward with the enemy's blood. As they fell, Naruto landed on a tree. Orochimaru attempted the same, but fell through his. It was an illusion Naruto had placed in the beginning of the fight. The Sani tried to right himself, but Naruto would have none of that. Every time the snake Sani would try to grab, it was just an illusion. He landed painfully on the ground. Naruto jumped and landed on the other side of the clearing. Sasuke and Sakura followed behind him. I lost my spot. Sasuke and Sakura followed behind after. Dope. How were you able to beat one of the Sannin? Sasuke asked. You fool, Naruto shouted. He's not beaten. He's not even hurt. You are very precious. You are very perceptive, Naruto. Orochimaru complimented your skills. Orochimaru complimented, and your skills are just as good. Well, Sasuke-kun is better, Sakura howled. Be silent, you pink thing, Orochimaru ordered. If you hate Sakura then maybe you aren't all bad, Naruto stated. Sasuke, I need you to back me up here. Baka, Sakura shouted. You should be backing Sasuke up. I'm going to kill her, Orochimaru stated. While Orochimaru was distracted by Sakura, Naruto decided to make his move. Dance of the Crescent Moon. Two Narutos made their way towards Orochimaru. The snake Sanin blocked the first blade with his own and flicked his wrist. The snake Sanin blocked the first blade with his own, and with a flick of his wrist, he impaled him. He grabbed the second Naruto by the arm and tossed him headfirst into the other Naruto that was arcing from behind. Fire style, fireball jutsu. It was a direct hit. However, Orochimaru simply walked through the flames. He eyed Sasuke with a disturbing look. The snake Sasuke stretched his neck to inhuman lengths towards the Uchiha. He bit the Uchiha, leaving a mark on his neck. This caused him to screech in pain. Sasuke-kun, Sakura cried as running to his side. What did you do to him? I gave him a little gift, he answered. It will also keep him from and it will also keep him from interfering with my fight with Naruto-kun. Let's begin, Naruto stated. Let's, he agreed. I wish to see what the one who believes himself to be fear can do. Naruto attempted a forward thrust. The Sanin merely sidestepped the blade. Leveling his sword, Orochimaru made for a side slash. Naruto raised his sword to block, but the blow was too heavy and knocked him down. As he picked himself up, he saw Orochimaru. The snake Sanin was standing over him like a predator. I believe I smell fear from you, Naruto, Orochimaru taunted. With great force, Naruto backslapped back. With great force, Naruto was backslapped across the clearing, striking shadow snakes. Several snakes flew out. Several snakes flew out to the still airborne Naruto. They attached their fangs and pulled him back. Naruto was greeted with Orochimaru's sword pointed to his face. Naruto pulled his sword arm up and cut through the snake, bringing him. He then delivered a chakra-infused kick to the Sanin's stomach. Instead of being pushed back like Naruto had hoped, Orochimaru merely grunted. Grabbing Naruto by the back of his head, he placed the sword at his neck. Giving a chakra-infused elbow to the stomach, he freed himself. He jumped back a few feet to make some distance. Shadow Clone Jutsu. He summoned 5, and they each made a dash for Orochimaru. Following the original, the Snake Sanin dispatched them easily. The Snake Sanin delivered a kick to Naruto, bringing him to his knees. He was forced to drop his sword from the pain. He pointed to the cousin at Naruto. The blonde fell back in fear. What he did next would shame him. He ran. He didn't know where he was. He just knew that he was scared and tired. He felt a familiar punch sent in the back of his mind. You little twerp, a familiar voice growled. How dare you? I'm sorry, Naruto whispered shamefully. I know I shouldn't have run. You're damn right you shouldn't have, QB agreed. But that isn't what had me so angry. Isn't it? He asked the fox. Then what is that? You were afraid, the fox shouted. You felt fear. My container felt fear from a snake. I was losing a life and death battle. It wouldn't be the first time, QB pointed out. And you didn't use any of my techniques I've taught you. I didn't have enough fear for the Shino. I'm not talking about that, QB spoke. You haven't used my genjutsu I've taught you. But that one. You haven't even used my kenjutsu since wave, and you only used the basic. I can't control the illusions, Naruto stated. And the sword style is for killing and manhandling. You aren't supposed to control the illusion, and what do you think the sword is for? But what are you afraid of? The fox asked. You mouth off to me, the QB, the fox stated. You taunt the demon of the mist, and you even stared down the the Ich, Ichibiki. Fuck. I'm pretty sure the raccoon container, so I know you don't fear death. The raccoon container. You mean Garo? Naruto asked. Don't change the subject. The fox growled. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid of myself, Naruto shouted. I'm afraid of what I can do. It becomes a whisper. Of what I will do. I see, the fox muzzled. You will fear the control over yourself. What if I hurt my Himes? He asked. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. They QB wanted to be angry but couldn't. Even he gained the fox. Even the giant fox had a heart when it came to this matter. But as the container of the QB, there would be no weaknesses. Bruh, I am no longer helping you, the fox stated. Until you find your resolve, you are on your own. With nothing more to say, the fox ejected Naruto from his own mind. I guess I'll go find my team, he thought, if they were still alive. Naruto spread his sensor radar as far as he could. He found Orochimaru first. The snake Sanin wasn't with his team. He was with Anko, his Haim. It took less than a second for Naruto to decide the next action. He ran towards the direction of the two snake users. Naruto may be afraid, but it wasn't of death. He would happily die for any of his Haims. He was afraid he wouldn't make it in time. Uncle was worse for wear. She was completely exhausted and had used nearly all of her chakra. She felt she had enough for one jutsu. Goodbye, girls. Iruka, Naruto. Twin snake. Muzzle. Mutual death. I'm sure you don't want to waste your life like that, Orochimaru stated. How do you think your dear Naruto-kun would feel? The question was enough to make her cancel the suicide jutsu. What have you done, Naruto-kun? Ako asked in fear. Nothing too bad. Just a friendly spar, he stated. To my disappointment, he ran away. Well, now I'm back, a new voice spoke. Naruto-kun, Anko shouted. Get out of here. Well then, Naruto-kun, Orochimaru spoke. Are you going to give me a better fight this time? Naruto said nothing. There was nothing he could say. He took his usual stance. They moved simultaneously, and their blades met. It was another power struggle. As they fell from the treetops, they landed like cats, never breaking their struggle. Naruto pushed Orochimaru back. The snake Sanin made a side slash at Naruto's legs. The blonde jumped and attempted a straight slash down. Orochimaru backstepped, avoiding the blade. The Kusanagi took the blow, being pushed into the ground. Using his sword as a stance, Naruto delivered a kick to Orochimaru's face. Orochimaru backstepped even further. Very good, Naruto, complimented him. What gave you such a new flair? Naruto stayed silent, not talking. Well then, show me more. The snake Sanin made way for a one-handed thrust. Naruto sidestepped the swing at his exposed body. The blade made contact. Before Naruto could feel any satisfaction, pain erupted from his back. It was only because of his tolerance that he was able to stand. The Orochimaru before him dissolved into a puddle of mud. Another stood behind him. Naruto, Uncle screamed. She delivered down not to help the blind. Drawing her kunai, she began to recklessly slash at the Sonic. With no chakra or focus in her movements, were slow and sloppy. Orochimaru simply dodged each one as if it was child's play. I'm not interested in you, Uncle, Orochimaru spoke. The snake Sanin raised his hand and formed a seal. The seal was all too familiar. It was the one she feared the most. She fell to the ground. Screaming in pain. Orochimaru had activated the curse seal on her. Naruto ran to her side and completely ignored the snake Sanin. All he cared for was his hide. Uncle, he cried, get up. Oh, so she was your motivator, Orochimaru stated. No wonder you fought so hard. Stop it, Naruto shouted. I am your opponent. Sorry, Naruto, he falsely apologized. But no can do. Naruto glared at the snake. He activated the fox glare, but nothing happened. He tried over and over again. Not gonna happen. What? Why? You need to give in. Never. Naruto dashed towards the Sonic, but was simply backhanded. I'll deal with you when I'm done with her, he stated. Unless you show me what you used at the bridge. Do you hear that? The QB asked. He's going to kill your mate, then you. I know. Then give in, but... Do you want to be alone again? QB asked. Do you want one of your Heims to die in front of you? No. Then give in. Alright. Orochimaru looked forward toward the mumbling blonde. He was greeted with a pair of fox eyes glaring at him. It shocked him, but he knew enough to not look at them directly. That wouldn't stop it. The forest went black. Naruto unleashed more killer intent and fear Naruto unleashed more killer intent and fear that should have been possible. It filled the forest to the point that it stopped other getting in their task. Everywhere Orochimaru looked, he was greeted with a giant fox eyes staring at him from all directions. In the center, Naruto was staring at him. He unshivered even from the snake Sanin. What have I gotten myself into? More than you could possibly imagine. With his concentration lost, uncle was freed. Naruto, she weakly wobbled before falling unconscious. 1 minute, Naruto was staring at Orochimaru with unfaltered hatred. The next, he was being the Sanin with his own flesh, blood on his sword. Because of the shock, Orochimaru barely noticed the gash on his shoulder, or the fact Naruto was holding his severed sword hand. You shouldn't have harmed my hand, Naruto stated. You would have lived. Orochimaru couldn't believe Naruto had just severed his hand. Again, even if a gifted one had harmed him, a Sani. How did again? Naruto vanished and another slash appeared. Longer. Naruto needed to pay. Naruto needed to pay for hurting Uncle in the past. Orochimaru was in trouble. He had only one hand. He was under assault from a familiar attack. He needed to end this. As much as fun as much fun as this has been, I need to go, Orochimaru stated. Of course I can, Orochimaru. Do you think you can just leave that easily? Naruto asked. Just like that? Of course I can, Orochimaru stated with confidence, with just 6 little words. Well, you better say them fast, Naruto stated, charging at Orochimaru. The Sanin simply smirked. You are so like your mother. Those are the 6 words. Naruto, that had stopped Naruto. It had also stopped the Genjutsu.